Hey, Michael Kerr here. Years ago, I was part of a team that worked on this very unexciting project called Project Lethal Scorpion. We were just working on this pretty boring project, but we thought, hey, let's spice it up a little bit by giving it a fun name. You can actually go to some websites where you can come up with random project names that are kind of fun, that give it a little pizzazz, a little jazz to your project name, or you can just brainstorm. You could even have a contest. Let's come up with a very cool name to identify this project. Now that's just one way that you can add a little bit of fun, a little bit of humor into your project management, into your next team project that you're working on. I've got 7 additional ideas for you on how to add a little fun, a little humor into your project work. Number 1, leverage what's known as the Ikea effect. Now, you know the Ikea effect if you've ever put something together with Ikea, right? You get it home, you've got the 87,000 parts, you can't understand the instructions, and you'll have 4 parts left over. And if you're like me, you'll have a shelf that is perennially crooked and looks a little weird, but you know what? That shelf isn't going anywhere because you're really proud of it, right? Because you built it yourself. That's the Ikea effect. When people are invested at the beginning of a project, when they are involved at the very launch of a project, they tend to be more invested in it. So make sure you involve people right at the onset, right at the beginning in a meaningful way. Now that may not sound like it's much of a fun idea, but I guarantee you, this stuff all overlaps. The more you involve people right at the onset, leveraging the Ikea effect, the more fun it will be for everyone involved in this project. Number 2, make sure you launch the project in a fun way. Consider doing some fun team building activities with the team that's going to be working on this, because you want to create a psychologically safe experience for people. You want to be able to make sure that people trust one another, that you've built good relationships ahead of time, that people get to know one another at a personal level, and especially, going to say it again, create that psychologically safe environment. So doing a few fun team building activities, doing a few fun social experiential events can really help you with that. Number 3, create a few fun awards that you can dole out as the project unfolds and proceeds. Maybe it's a Houdini award for whoever magically makes a big problem on the project disappears. A Swiss Army Knife Award, where you actually give them a Swiss Army knife for the best multitasker on your project team. Maybe it's the Ha Ha Award for whoever keeps everyone laughing during particularly stressful or challenging times. Number 4, if it's a project that has, well, especially if it has a fairly long timeline to it, create a fun, visible scorecard where people can track the progress so they feel a sense of momentum, so they feel more motivated, but also identify some milestones along the way where you are going to celebrate those milestones each time you hit those marks. Remember, research shows that celebrating even small milestones has a disproportionate impact on people than what those milestones might actually represent. Number 5, again, if it's a fairly long-term project, every now and then check in using the Wheel of Change formula to see how you're doing. So you've been working together for a while, use the Wheel of Change to ask these questions. Hey, what's one thing, team, we need to remember to keep doing consistently? You know, we do it, but we're kind of, we're not always consistent, or we don't always do it as best as we could be. So what's the number 1 thing we need to keep doing consistently? What's one thing we all need to commit to stop doing? What's one thing we need to start doing or create from this point on? And what is one thing we just need to learn to live with? Because it's not going away, folks. So let's stop griping about it. Let's just learn to live with it. Number 6, create a halftime show. Now, okay, this doesn't have to be, Super Bowl-esque halftime show. It doesn't have to be that big. But at the halfway mark, create a purposeful, celebratory event where you celebrate the fact that you think you're kind of halfway in this project now. You want to keep the momentum going. You need to re-energize, recharge people. So create a halftime show and call it a halftime show. It doesn't have to be epic, but something to celebrate the progress that you have made so far and to help people get over that halfway hump so they can see the end of the light. And number 7, this is an absolute must in my books. Celebrate the end of your project with a bang. Celebrate in style. there's nothing more, I don't know, of a letdown than when you've worked on a big project together and everybody's rolled up their sleeves and worked really hard and they've been creative and innovative and your team is bonded and you're finally finished and you don't do anything to acknowledge it. You've got to make sure you celebrate when you cross that finish line. So plan for that early. Plan for that early on so that people can get excited. So it becomes just one more motivating factor to see what you're going to do when you finish this epic project. So what about you? Do you have some fun ideas you use on your team when you're working on a project? Please leave a comment in the comment box below or leave a question. And if you haven't subscribed to my Inspiring Workplaces channel, you know what to do. Hit the little it's somewhere here. I know it is. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so you know when new videos are dropped. And if you want a weekly infusion of some great ideas, some inspiring ideas, some fun ideas on how to rock it in your workplace, please cruise over to my website, www.mikekerr.com. Gets you there at the bottom of the homepage. Sign up for my Inspiring Workplaces newsletter. Once a week, an infusion of inspiration, ideas, and a little bit of humor into your inbox. And if you sign up, you will get the complimentary ebook, 401 Ways to Create a More Inspiring, Rocking, and yes, Fun Workplace.